Okay, so last time I talked about 1917 just as a recommend without spoilers. Now I will talk about, with spoilers, what I thought about it. So, when I went in there, I didn't know what to expect. I guess I'd seen like a commercial for it. It's probably around it of what I've seen of it. Basically my dad just recommended it. He said, you know, let's go and watch this World War One movie. Maybe it'll be good. We thought of watching that Midway movie earlier, but we were a day behind, so didn't get to see it. But I did see this one, and I really liked it. I really liked it. And I said before, it's a white man's movie, and yeah, I believe that fully. I'm not saying that as a joke. I mentioned how I love how it follows the characters from beginning to end. You start, and you see them wake up, and then you follow them as it goes, behind, through everything there. I found that very enjoyable. That's like, because that's what it is, right? They wake up, and the way they wake up is very natural. It feels like very fitting of the time. It feels very. It gets you into that time period. It gets you, you know, you get an impression of what it was like back then. So it does a good job in that end of getting you in relation to how it would have been at that time. So it's good on that and in the aspect of tone. The characters are accurate when they need to be, funny when they need to be, well done, right? So you have those two chaps, and then I love the part where they go through the trenches. That's really when it starts getting good. That's one thing I love about it is the guy, gets his rifle and he puts his bayonet on, loads his gun. They're getting ready to go out there. They don't know what's coming up, and I love that. I love how it gets you prepared. I love how they handle that. Um, they go into the trenches, and you go on this little mini adventure through the trenches, and that's good. It's very good because they're investigating. Love the part where they're kind of sneaking around through that German trench they get in. They're not doing, they're not doing like super complicated moves like some SWAT team or something like that. Because they're just regular guys. Sure, they're combat trained. They're soldiers. But they aren't like a professional unit. They're just there. They're armed. They got some training and they're just trying to stick it out. And I love how it gives that feel, right? It gives that proper feel. They don't feel too perfect and they don't feel too lame either. They feel like how they should be in terms of soldiers of the time, which is very nice. Um, Now, of course, you get that. I like that part because they get into the trench. They get into that little cave area, and then you get an explosion because they trigger a tripwire. And the Germans, of course, like that's one thing is this movie. Actually, no, I won't go into that for now. We'll go into that in a little bit. But they get that whole explosion, and the dude gets blinded, and they need to get out, and blah blah blah. And that's the thing I like about that because you get this dude gets blinded, almost dies, and is helped by call him number two. We'll call him number one and number two. Number one lives, number two dies. I don't remember their names. I'm not good at remembering names. Maybe I'll need to rewatch this a couple of times. I've only seen this once. Cut me some slack. But so number two saves number one. I refer to people like this commonly. Um, and then they get out, and they go to this like farm area, which I loved how that was. How you got out of the trenches in that way. Of course, even before that, you had things like they were going through craters, walking around that mud pile in the huge crater, walking through barbed wire. Dude gets cut. His hand cut on the barbed wire, and you feel that. You feel that. You you know, you do. And then it was a great moment when the whole explosion happened in the trench, and I was sitting up close in the theater, and there's like, whoa, it was a shock for me. I was like, oh, Yeah. So that was a good element. That was a good element to it. So they get out, right? And yeah, number one gets his blinding off with the water, showing that they have a bit of a companionship to them. Get into a little bit of an argument, and then they just shoot the flare, which shows that the place they came through is safe. Reinforcements will show up, and then they continue going. And I like that because, again, they're regular guys, right? They're not like the best of friends, and they're not, random. They know each other, and they're war buddies, right? They're not best friends or anything. They got respect for each other, and they're friends here, right? So I like how they help them out in that way. I love that relationship too, and they develop these characters, characterize them very quickly and very well. And you get that nice little exposition scene where number two is talking about his family over on a farm, and he knows what these plants are and all that. That is very nice. It's very nice because they're looking for his brother, right? So it establishes him, how he has lived before, himself, in a very nice way. And you see him as a decent chap, of course, because he saved number one. And he's a nice dude. He's a good dude. Which is why when he dies in the next scene was quite the impact. That was a good scene. In my opinion, that might be the best part of the movie. I don't know what the best part of the movie is because it's all pretty good, but that might be it. Yeah, it's either that or the end. It's either that or the end of it would be the best probably. But I love that. They get to the bar and it's quiet. And it doesn't feel like that chaotic when you get there. You don't get there and get that feeling like, oh, something bad's gonna happen. But you get there and you have this kind of like, okay, we're here. Good. And that's why when things start getting bad, it's a shock. And it shocked me. So, they're looking through this barn and they don't find anything. They find a cow that's alive when before they had seen, this was like sliced off trees or something. I believe. I don't know if that's the scene here or the scene after. I'm not sure. There's some milk, and then the dude collects some milk in his number one. Collects some milk from there, which comes back later, which is good. Gives it some good continuity. I like that continuity to it, right? It goes in that straightforward order, and you could say it's a coincidence, but it's like that's not an unrealistic coincidence. It's just things worked out, and I like that. He spills the water on his face, right, to get the sand out of his eyes, and that's all his water. And then he puts the milk in it, and then he uses the milk later when he's under the house or whatever for the baby. And that was well managed continuity. So it's quiet, it's calm, it's getting some milk, glug glug glug, and then they walk up and it's like, oh, planes. And we have seen planes, I think, 2 times before this as well. And that also kind of gives you the false sense of security because the planes haven't done anything so far. And they even say, looks like our guys. And looks like there's 2 of our guys. So it looks like it should be good. Then the plane just suddenly like flies down. That was a shock for me. I'm like, whoa. So then they save the guy on board, and he's a German guy. And I couldn't tell he was a German guy initially. I thought he was like a British guy, because I thought if he was German, why'd they be saving him? Saved him out of the goodness of his heart. Sadly. So, goes and gets water, camera following him all the way, and then, looks back, camera cuts back, stabbed by the crowd, and then just shot. Oh. And this is getting into that point that I was going to bring up. Which is that this movie, I was kind of a fan of how this movie just showed the Germans to be, like, evil. I mean, I'm not like a German hater. I am German. I'm an Englishman and a German mainly. So, I don't know, conflicts in the air. But I'm pro-British. If you can't tell, I'm pro-British. But, the dude gets stabbed by the German. And I like that because it's kind of harken back to the old stereotypes. No, the Prussians are an aggressive bunch, and they'll kill you. And, and you see that more times in this movie, and But dude dies, and number one shoots the Kraut, and it's quick, right? It's all very sudden, and I like that. Again, it feels organic. So the Kraut's dead, quick, and number two, he bleeds out, and I like this scene a lot. I mean, that's one thing. He's like you see the worry on his face, right? He's very worried. He's like, taking off all his guys, got like 5 layers on. It's World War One. And then you see him with this wound, and he's bleeding out. Number two's holding them. I wish I knew their names. It would be a lot more dramatic with me reciting this if I knew their names. I just don't remember characters' names very much. Sorry, I'm just not very good at it. I know, but the guy's bleeding out, and you get the Hollywood takes a while for him to die. I can believe it. Whatever. I'm not gonna be all critical of that. He's bleeding out. He doesn't cry. It looks like he cries, but he doesn't. He doesn't cry, and I'm not sure what I think about that. I mean, I'd probably be crying. I'll admit. I kind of have a thing where if I just get hurt a little bit around my face, I'll just my eyes will water. I won't go kind of thing, but my eyes will just water. I don't know if it's, I don't know what it is, but it happens to me. I don't know if it happens to other people, but I can tell you, if I got shanked, I think I'd probably, I don't know what it would be like, but I think I'd probably have that going on myself. Of course, it's a great scene. He's like, will you write to my mother for me? And I guess I should put on next. Will you write to my mother for me? And good scene though. Good scene though. Feel the impact there. And one thing I liked is, he asks, "Am I going to die?" And then the guy pauses. Number one pauses. Yes. That's different. That's different. I'm not. That's all I'll say. That's different. I have not heard that done in that way before. But that was a good scene. I felt bad for him. I was feeling it. That was good. It was good. Very good. Very good. Very good setup. Because it's like the intro to it, basically. And then, of course, these other British guys show up. And the guy, wait. No, the guy, he said he's like a Newfoundland commander. So I guess he's like from Newfoundland or something. So I guess he's a Canadian guy. But he seems to have kind of like a ragtag group on him. I wasn't really sure with that. He seems to have a couple Scots, a couple Englishmen, mostly Englishmen. And he's got a couple Hindus or something, or Sikhs or something. Looking like it. So then, number one goes with him. And leaves his friend, and then you see the murdered cows and the torn down trees in that scene, I believe. And that was good, very quiet after that. And you feel that's one thing about it. I don't think anyone cried in this movie. I don't think anyone cried in this movie, and I like that. It's a very brutal thing going on, but that's one thing. It's it came into my mind as I was seeing it. I'm just like, this is why men fight wars. As it was coming into my mind, it's like, oh, this is brutal, and you gotta take it, and you gotta go through. And this is why you're not on the battlefield, honey. You can't take it. And literally, they can't take it. What was it? Triple the amount of females will retreat from the battlefield due to stress in the combat scenario, I believe was the statistic there. Well, whatever. But, you feel that. I felt that. I felt the masculine energy. A true European on the battlefield. A true, great war. The Great War is what this is, right? So, it's a European war. It's good. But, from there, it's kind of, I don't have much to say. It goes. goes. They get well, actually no, because after the little truck ride, and he gets out, and then he goes into this town. This is the town where he needs to go. I don't remember the name, but he's going in there, and he's balancing on the little pipe, and he's going in, and then just a gunshot, and then he just jumps into the water, goes next to a ridge there, and he's hiding behind it. Suddenly a firefight, and I thought no one was here, and I was shocked. That shocked me when that happened. And then he goes into the house. It's very tense. And they go in and then they shoot. You don't really see what happens. He gets knocked out. So I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he got shot. I don't think they address whether he's injured or not or what happened. I don't know. But he wakes up and then it's nighttime and you get this very interesting scenery. Like I don't know if this happened in the war. I've seen movies where in the trenches it kind of had lighting like this, but not in a city or a town. I never seen it like that. But you got these huge explosions going on, and it's like the dead of night, but it's lightened up like a lot, and it's very impressive looking. I never seen it like that in town. I don't know if that I don't know how realistic that was, but it looked really cool. And then he gets chased around by a couple Krauts. And then you, of course, get another scene that defines the Krauts. Gets in there, holds him to the mouth. Don't say anything. And then he says something, and then, yeah, he needs to die. But, like I said, the Krauts are not very nice. I was going to say a bad word, but, they're the A word. A word with a hole in it, I try to be kid friendly. I'm not one to swear. But the Krauts are very not nice in this movie, and I liked that. I liked that, but he gets out again. He jumps into the river, and then he gets by. And this is like, I love this part. This is nearing the end here. And like me talking about it in this context, right? That's how it is. It's this one-way progression. It just keeps going like that. Like I said, the camera is always following behind. Very rarely does it cut. And I love that about it. I love that about it. I thought it gave it a great sense of flow and continuity that I don't see very much in movies now. And I love that. So he jumps into the river, and then he survives that river. And then he gets up. And I love this part because at this time, like not only is he late, but he has nothing on him. Like literally what? I guess all he has is his uniform, which it seems he's like lost a layer on that. His backpack, his gun, his helmet, he's got nothing. So he just runs into the forest and he sees the attack going on. And I love that sense of desperation it gave. In the end, it's a win, but I love that moment where he's trekking through, with the tenseness of it. You, of course, have the epic scene from the trailers as well, where he's sitting above the trench, and then he runs through the trench just to get a shortcut from the men. Epic scene. And the music the music was awesome in this. When he's going into the town, the music picks up. Epic. And in this scene, incredible. I was like, incredible. Like it's really good. Good at establishing like a calm tone. When it gets tense, just great. Great soundtrack. Right up there with Joker. Like seriously, good. So then he gets, to Zekatan, and calls off the operation. And that was good. And the captain, he's got that English attitude too. He's like, now fuck off. Oh, said the bad word. Well, this video is not for kids anymore. Too bad. Not like this content's for kids. This movie is not for kids. If you're a kid, don't watch it. Well, I mean, maybe you can watch it. I can't stop you. But, I guess to the end. And, he sees his brother. And I said the brother's acting is kind of nyeh. in my end, I thought his acting was kind of problematic, but he's like the last character you see, so I'll go easy on it. Main thing I like about the ending here, besides getting the mission done like that, getting to the end, is when he just sits down. It's at the end that all this is done. He just sits down behind this tree, and you see these long open plains of France. And I thought that was just beautiful. And I was thinking in my mind as I saw it, like, I don't know if I said this last time, but it's just, these wide open plains which we have battled across for 1,000 years, the heart of Europe. Maybe on this day, we can see some peace. Like, that's what came into my mind. It was just beautiful. Beautiful ending. And that's like what I got out of it. I imagine most people wouldn't get the same thing out of it, unless you're looking at it from such a historical perspective. But I just thought it was excellent. Good ending. Good movie. Good. So that's my spoiler contained thoughts on 1917. Please watch this movie. It's made by good chaps. Watch it. Give them money so they can make more. They deserve it. And you deserve seeing it. So please go see it. That's all I have to say about it. It's just really good. So thank you for watching. Now, subscribe if you want to see any more of what I put out. The usual stuff. I should be putting my contact information in the description at this point. So that'll be all for now. Thank you.